And hello everyone, this is Angel Terri here with another tutorial for Anarchy Online. I'm still sick, I still probably sound terrible, but we're gonna go get through this, folks. Okay, so our last video I had made, we had talked about getting the game, installing the game, getting things set up, and how to make an account. Today, this video is going to go over the breeds, which are races, and the professions, which are classes, of what you could be in Anarchy Online. So this may be a little bit of a longer video because I want to try to go over the breeds and the professions with as much information as I can. I will link, they have a character guide that I had found along with on Anarchy Online Universe. There are some profession guides, not that many, but maybe it can get you started on, I think they have stuff for adventurer, an enforcer, and I think a bureaucrat? Not too sure. But anyway, here's our character creation screen. We have 8 slots of characters we can make, so let's hit new character.
Welcome to Ruby-Ka Territorial Space. We are about to dock with the Morningstar space station. Please return to your assigned space. Security locks will be engaged prior to gravity fall.
Sorry for any noises. I'm drinking a lot of water today. My throat's a bit sore. Itchy.
Welcome to the Morningstar. In a short while, you will be ferried down to the surface of Ruby-Ka, where a new life awaits you. Please proceed through the laboratories and create the identity you wish to take on. Good luck. Please select breed and gender.
Okay, so Anarchy Online has 4 breeds, which, as you can see, are races in this game. We have Solitus, Opifex, Nanomage, and Aatrox. Now, each of them has their own strengths and weaknesses, and they also seem to have the best kind of professions that they go for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this one at a time and then read from this one character creation guide a little bit more information that this doesn't say.
Solitus male selected.
All right. So the Solitus is the galaxy's most common breed, a direct natural descendant of the Homo sapiens which evolved during Earth's long winter, aka humans. The Solitus has no specific advantage but is capable of adapting to almost any situation and environment and has a proclivity for learning. Alright, so before I go on, there's one thing that this character creation guide pointed out, which I almost forgot to say, that the difference between breeds is defined with the amount of hit points and nanopool, aka magic, they have, as well as the cost of improvement points, which I will be going over later, needed for each ability increase. So that's what seems to be the biggest difference. Now, some also may be better at strength, some may be better at agility, which I'll go over. All right, so we got Solitus. The Solitus male and female are a good all-around breed. They are the closest in looks to the good old humans of old Earth. They gain an average amount of health and nano per point in body development and nanopool, which both of them are skills that you would learn when you level up. Body development relates to hit points and nanopool relates to nano, okay? And I'll be going over that more later, but just a description here. The breed has a high viability for all professions, although tends to be a preferred breed among adventurers, doctors, and soldiers. Okay.
Opifex female selected.
Now, the Opifex is genetically engineered to be a fast and agile breed at the expense of its strength and stamina. The Opifex is versatile and has spread wide across the galaxy. The Opifex makes for a good agent, fixer, or martial artist where speed and precision is beneficial. So the Opifex is more of a, think of them almost like an elf, perhaps, or maybe even a halfling in some games where they're more speedy, like they do quicker, but they don't have as much strength and stamina. So the Opifex male and female, well known for their pale gray skins, their high agility and sense, while at the same time being a little weaker and squishier than the Solitists, are also very good all-around characters and maybe have the easiest time of equipping a large proportion of equipment and symbionts. To point on to that, this is a game where gear and things you use are related to the stats you have. So say, for example, there is a piece of armor that looks good, but when you check, you need to have 8 strength and 10 stamina. Okay, so that's when they're talking about being able to equip a lot of things. Their health and nano pool are comparable to Solitists, though they gain a little less per level, but they gain the same amount from nano pool and body development. This breed is preferred among agents, fixers, and martial artists. Alright, next.
Nanomage male selected.
These dudes are really ugly, but anyway, I know. The Nanomage is unique to Rubicon, genetically engineered for the Notum-rich environment, and thus unable to live anywhere else in the galaxy. The Nanomage has a strong advantage in using nanotechnology and metaphysics. So I think nanotechnology and metaphysics, it's almost like the quote-unquote magic in this game is what they're called. Could be wrong. Let's see. The Nanomage male and females are highly intelligent beings. From their appearance, you can see their intended focus was to be that of a casting profession and not a frontline fighter. This inner skill unfortunately led them to have fairly weak outers, which I do not understand that sentence. But essentially, they're good in intelligence and psychic, and weak with strength and agility. The nanomages gain the most nano from their nanopool, but at the same time gain the least health from their body development. This breed is preferred among metaphysics, nanotechnicians, and doctors. It's interesting how many breeds can do doctors. And then last, we have
Atrox selected.
The Atrox is unique to Rubicon and was genetically engineered to be a manual laborer in the Notum mines. The excessive manipulation led to the Atrox being a genderless breed, which is strange because all the pictures show them as like a male gender, as far as I know. The Atrox is strong, hardy, and resilient and makes for a good soldier or worker. So the non-gender specific Atrox are well known for the large frame bodies, their lack of intelligence, and their brute nature. This breed is big on hit points, strength, and stamina, while at the same time being quite weak in sense, psychic, and intelligence, as well as lacking in nanopool. Professions where prefer this breed are enforcers and soldiers. So essentially any profession where you don't need to use a lot of nano, like the enforcers in this game, think of like a tank. Okay. Let's see. So let's... one moment, folks. Okay. So, what was it? Oh, yes. So I'm going to pick... let's see. Let's pick a Opifex.
Opifex female selected.
Alright, when we click next...
Please choose your appearance.
So, appearance is very basic from maybe the old EverQuest where you only really flip your head, what it looks like. But you could be short, medium, tall, or slender, medium, or heavy. Yes, that's right, folks, you can make a badonkadonk. But we're going to be medium and tall. And we'll go through some of these head selections. Excuse me. Now, I've always found the head selections in Anarchy Online really nice. You have, even like Solitists, you have those who look Asian. You have those that are, look black. You have, of course, Caucasian, but you have like tattoos. You have earrings and things like that. So you get a good amount of choices for your person. So, oh, that's spiky hair. Let's see. I kind of like this one. This thing with the hair kind of gets me. It's really weird. That's pretty neat. Let's see. I like hers too. You know what? We're gonna pick her.
Please select a profession.
Now, professions, aka classes, there's quite a number, there is quite a large number in here, and my brain is not working, in Anarchy Online, I'm at the site. Keeper and Shade, you can only play as if you have the Shadowlands expansion. as a lot of the stuff that they use is, I believe, found in those areas. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the professions right now. So let's start with metaphysicist.
Metaphysicist selected.
Now, one thing you'll need to notice right here where it says difficulty to play, it'll be either low, medium, or high. This essentially tells you, from what I could tell, is how difficult it'll be to not only understand the profession, but how to make it work well for you, either as solo or grouping, and what it can do. From the guides I've read and from what people have said, it's good to go for a profession that's either low or low to medium as you figure out the game. Yeah, thank you, Lizzie. So we've got a metaphysicist. So I'm going to read what's here and then kind of touch on what the guide says. So the metaphysicist gets their strength from the other side. They can manifest their emotions in the material world and eventually control multiple materialized entities and use them in combat. The uniqueness of a metaphysicist lies in manipulating the underlying fabric of the world where nanotechnology operates, adjusting the nanotechnology skills of friends and foes alike. Their weapon skills are poor, but they can use their powers to damage their opponents directly. Now, what this says is the metaphysicist is the undisputed master of nanoskills, which he can use in various ways. His combat skills come to a great degree from his versatile pets, which can attack, heal, or confuse. If he gets cornered by another nano user, he is able to shut down his opponent's nanoskills, debuff and nuke them into oblivion. Ooh, yes. Next we have
Adventurer selected.
Now, the adventurer is a low to medium. Many people think of the adventurer as a druid from EverQuest. So an adventurer's soul is at home in the wild. Adventurers study the animals, learn their ways, and gain some of their abilities along the way. Their weapon skills are well balanced with equal advancement opportunities in melee and ranged combat. They also become skilled at using nanotechnology to withstand damage or to create metaphysical cloaks that damage their aggressors. An adventurer is an excellent healer, only truly rivaled by the doctor. So let's see here. If there is one all-rounder profession, it definitely is the adventurer. Your weapon specialization will either be dual-wielded, edged weapons, or pistols. Besides damaging your foe with those, you will be able to provide heals, second only to professional doctors. As a small bonus, you even get the ability to charm leets. Can it get any better than this? Yes, it can. You furthermore possess the ability to turn you and your peers into various furry or scaly animals, which not only provides entertainment, but also adds valuable skill bonuses. Ooh.
Engineer selected.
Now, the engineer is a medium-high, and an engineer is a specialist in creating all sorts of machinery. Engineers really excel in constructing powerful battle droids and have access to unique nanotechnology to enhance and repair them. The engineer's weapon skills are not that great, but the engineer-robot pet duo is quite formidable. All engineers learn to create powerful protective shields, and the best engineers can hack into satellites and use them to teleport any member of the team to the engineer's location. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So the engineer's combat prowess comes from his ability to control the most formidable robotic pets, while at the same time dealing damage to their unfortunate target with either pistols, grenades, or some other weapon of their choice. Besides this, they can also try to make a living by assembling technological gadgets for those not fortunate enough to be able to dedicate themselves to trade skills. Now, on that point, only the engineer and trader can do high-level trade skill crafting, like make quality level 200 stuff. Everybody else, you can fiddle with it, like make little doodads here and there, but nothing, from what I could tell, at the strength of what an engineer or a trader, I believe it is, can do.
Soldier selected.
Alright, now a soldier is a low to medium, and a soldier strives for excellence in armed combat. The skill advancement of soldiers focuses entirely on assault and survival. They use unique nanotechnology to protect their bodies, enhance reflexes, weapon skills, and their armor. Perhaps most importantly, soldiers are able to create strong damage absorption shields around themselves, which makes them partly invulnerable and even reflects some of the damage back to the attacker. So the soldier is the general master of ranged weapons. Normally specializing in the assault rifle, this profession is able to make many combinations of guns a viable way to kill their opponents. Soldiers are very welcome team members, providing buffs not only for weapon skills, but also reflex, initiatives, and various other buffs. Okay, so I can't click on the shade, but the shade is a high difficulty. So the shade is a mix between a predator and a parasite. Dark and aggressive, the shade utilizes nanotechnology to suck the life and energy out of the prey, robbing them of the basic elements they need to subsist. The shade stays out of harm's way by relying on concealment and good combat mobility. By using the element of surprise, the shade can inflict large amounts of damage in a short amount of time. Now, the Shade is one of 2 professions which requires you to be the owner of the Shadowlands expansion for the game. They are frontline melee fighters, specialized in piercing weapons and dealing a major part of their damage with their perk attacks. They are excluded from wearing quite a lot of equipment, but make up for it by having a very extensive set of profession-specific items. For example, their inability to use regular implants and symbionts, as each other profession does, gets compensated to some degree by their ability to equip spirits, which they can hunt for in the Shadowlands. I'm thinking spirits, like they just put like alcohol all over themselves. Yeah. Other items they may not use are most helmets and no token boards. I don't know what a token board is. They are marvelous damage dealers and soloers, but need to be quite high level to develop those abilities properly. Now we have the Keeper, which, when you hear this description, you're going to totally think of a paladin. So this is a medium difficulty to play, and the Keeper is a fighter that radiates valor and heroism, a beacon of light and hope to the team. A formidable opponent who specializes in close combat, the Keeper is especially proficient wielding two-handed, edged weapons. That was a sentence I couldn't say. This profession's uniqueness lies in the ability to share life and diverse powers with nearby allies. Okay, so the Keeper is the other profession which comes as a bonus of the Shadowlands expansion. If you choose to take this career choice, you will be wielding mighty two-handed swords and be wearing shiny armor. Your roles will be as a support damage dealer, while your nano-based auras help both you and your team. In the higher levels, they also make formidable single-target tanks. Oh, excuse me. Alright, so let's get back to here. So we got a Fixer.
Fixer selected.
So a Fixer is a medium, and a Fixer specializes in getting people what they need when they need it. By hacking into what is known as the grid from anywhere in the world, Fixers can use it to transport themselves or their entire team in digital form around Ruby Ka. The Fixers move fastest of all, and special armors make them the hardest to hit as well. A Fixer's main combat strategy lies in limiting the maneuverability of opponents, and they favor weapons from the submachine category. Now, the Fixers are the undisputed masters of submachine guns, which they use to take out an enemy, while at the same time being so agile that this said enemy is unable to even come close to scratching their sunglasses. Other major attributes are speed, their ability to root and snare opponents, and their healing over time, allowing a skilled Fixer to outmaneuver much tougher opponents than themselves. Alright, then we have
Agent selected.
Now they're looking at a high difficulty to play for an agent. An agent's life is spent in the shadows. Agents focus on concealment and subterfuge skills, and one of their special abilities is going undercover. I almost said underwear for some reason. Doing so enables them to use nanotechnology normally only available to other professions. When it comes to combat, the agent's specialty is sniping opponents with high-velocity rifles, using unique nanotechnology to further increase the damage. Now, agents are a very multi-skilled profession. Their main weapon skill is the rifle, which they can use to deliver deadly aim shots, which in some cases even instantly kill their prey. Their concealment allows them to hide from danger and to deliver a well-prepared initial strike at their own timing. As a nano user, they are most definitely the most versatile, since they have the ability to modify their NCU, which I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. I think I can do more when I look at the GUI what that is, but so they can use large parts of other professions' toolkits. One time providing much needed soldier buffs. They can, for example, later on switch into doctor mode to help with healing their team. So they can kind of switch around things they can do.
Trader selected.
Now the Trader is also a high difficulty. The Trader is the ultimate entrepreneur, getting more for less in every single transaction. Like others, they create and trade material goods, but in combat situations, they use unique nanotechnology which enables them to drain opponents of skills energy, and health, transferring those benefits to themselves or their allies. This frequently causes the most formidable opponents to wither to a cracked shell of their former self. Now, traders are a multi-skilled profession. They are both a giving profession as well as a taking one. Their many nano programs enhance their team and debuff their enemies at virtually the same time. Their usual means to taking something out is to shoot it with big shotguns and to calm any company their target might have brought with itself. Traders make very good trade skillers, being second only to engineers. Okay, so that's the other class for that.
Doctor selected.
Now, the doctor is a medium difficulty. The doctor is really a biotechnology specialist. The doctor's prime skill focuses mainly on healing and protecting, but they also learn how to produce and administer powerful biotoxins that slow, weaken, and wear down their opponents. Like they say, don't piss off your healer. Limited weapon skills can lead to a bumpy ride when going solo, but in a team, the doctor really shines. When chaos descends on the team in combat, its survival usually lies squarely on the doctor's shoulders, so this profession is not for the faint-hearted. This is the type of profession, for me personally, if you know you're going to group with friends in this game, a doctor is a really good choice. As a doctor, you will normally be living up to your name and provide the much-needed heals for Rubika's everyday hazards. While the tank does its job and gets hit, the doctors are the ones that make sure that the tank doesn't get too many dents or bullet holes. If you ever need to kill things, doctors are able to reduce the attacking speed of their opponents considerably and use their poison-injecting nanos to slowly remove the life of their prey.
Enforcer selected.
Now, the Enforcer is a low difficulty, and an Enforcer specializes in close combat using raw power and naked rage to subdue opponents. Oh gosh, I hope they don't get naked. Enforcers are physically physically better suited than all others to sustain damage and can learn some protective nanotechnology to further increase their chances of survival. Their brutality and in-your-face combat attitude normally make them the prime targets for any opponent. Enforcers utilize this for the good of the team and rely largely on others to heal them. So this is like I think of this like a tank, but it doesn't sound like they have really any healing skills besides maybe some healing items you get as you play the game. So the Enforcer is the proverbial meat shield, wielding any melee weapon of his choice, either bashing, piercing, or slicing his and his team's opponents, while also taunting them so that the healers which are with him can rest assured that they only have him to worry about. His defenses are somewhat limited, with damage-absorbing layers and their massive health being their means to outlast their opposition. Being decent soloers during their entire career, their role in higher levels as the tank of a raid force is what really makes them shine.
Bureaucrat selected.
So, Bureaucrat is a high difficulty, and the Bureaucrat brings order to chaos. Bureaucrats have very limited weapon skills, but their vast knowledge of nanotechnology makes up for that. They use it to directly damage opponents and create robots that will fight for them. But most importantly, a bureaucrat uses nanotechnology to boost his leadership skills and to control hostile beings, bending their minds and blurring their aims. Thank you, timer. Blurring their aims. Keeps reading arms for some reason. In a team situation, a bureaucrat is therefore a natural leader. Now, as a bureaucrat, your everyday life not only encompasses various forms, red tape, and regulations, but also the ability to make the local wildlife your pets, as well as a robotic assistant. Furthermore, your extensive nano toolset includes calming, rooting, and debuffing your opponents, while making your own team more efficient in combat at the same time. In addition, you will ensure that your team gains optimum experience while being teamed with you. Okay.
Martial Artist selected.
Now, Martial Artist is a low difficulty, and when it comes to dishing out raw combat damage, a Martial Artist outshines all other professions. Fighting unarmed, the Martial Artist's main strength lies in special attacks, knowing how to cripple opponents by attacking their weak spots. The Martial Artist is also a very proficient healer, truly surpassed only by the Doctor and the Adventurer. Now, martial artists tend to look down on modern day's very common use of physical weapons. They instead tend to hit their prey with their bare fists, feet, and various other special moves. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. Sorry, that just popped in my head. They survive by evading their opponents while having some rudimentary healing capabilities. Overall, their capability to deal damage should not be underestimated, as they very often rank in the damage hierarchy slightly below the shade. Oh. And last but not least,
Nanotechnician selected.
Now, they are a medium difficulty, and a nanotechnician is an expert user of aggressive nanotechnology. Nanotechnicians are experts at using nanotechnology to deal explosive area of effect damage, and the types of damage they can manage is incomparable. They are also capable of using other kinds of nanotechnology, that is like the fourth time I've said that word, and can, for example, warp themselves between locations. Nanotechnicians must be devoted to nanotechnology skills, and as a result, physical and weapon skills will suffer. So as a nanotechnician, you will be using nanobots to render opponents motionless, as well as using them to nuke them into bits. To a team, you provide virtually endless supplies of nano, greatly enhancing other nano-professions' abilities to work without breaks every 2 minutes. So, hopefully that gives you an idea of the different classes. Maybe something you're interested in. And for myself and this guide, I'm going to be doing a martial artist.
Martial artist selected.
All right, I'm going to hit next.
Please name your character.
Now, since this game's been out for about 20, 21 years, excuse me, please don't be upset if you don't get your name. Like, even I think all the suggestive names I've ever tried have been taken. So, what I do is I kind of flip through, find a name that I kind of like to look at, and then just either add like a letter at the end, or like, do something like this. And there we go, off to Rubika. All right, one moment, I'm just looking for a link here. Okay, so we're now in the game, and of course the first thing that you see is a good old microtransaction store, so we're going to shut that. The next window is about daily rewards. You can only get daily rewards if you're a subscriber. Since I'm not, I'm going to close that. And I don't know why this talks about private messages, so I'm going to close that right now. So before you is Anarchy Online's UI. Oh wow, music is kind of loud. Hang on a second, can I turn that down a bit in my ear? Holy shoot. So here we are in the game with the UI. Now, before we continue on and get to going over the UI, I want to go over one thing. The guide for the GUI recommends logging off at least once before you start working on a GUI on completely new characters. This is because Anarchy Online creates a folder with all your preferences on the first log off. Afterwards, when doing any changes to your GUI, be sure to log off properly to make sure the settings are stored. So, that's a good actually ending of this video because I'll be touching the UI or the GUI next video. So, to show you how to exit, on the hotbar that appears right here at the end, it has exit. You're going to click that button, okay, and this is going to exit us out of the game. So when we get back, I'll be going over the UI components, and we'll go from there. So this is Angel Terry. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.